Merry Christmas, everyone, and a very Happy New Year to you. Endless Kids brings you Jingle Bell, Storytell, a very happy and joyful event for the whole family. 7 stories by 7 storytellers. I am Shraddha Nigvekar, and my story is called Santa's Pajamas.
It was Christmas Eve and time to get ready. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not shout time telling you why Santa Claus is coming tonight. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows when you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. You better not shout, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why Santa Claus is coming tonight. Merry Christmas, everyone. It was Christmas Eve and Santa was getting ready. He took a nice long bath and scrub-a-dubbed himself and then blow-dried his hair and combed out his lovely silky white beard until it shone like the fresh snow. And then he put on his nice bathrobe and had a healthy dinner. And as he was munching on his lovely whole wheat sandwich, he started thinking and dreaming of all the lovely sweets that he would find that night as he delivered gifts to all the children around the world. He knew that they would have kept a bunch of cookies and a hot mug of milk for him next to their Christmas tree. And as he was dreaming of these wonderful sweets and cookies, he started thinking, it's time that I get dressed in my special Christmas holiday wear. So he walked to his closet and opened his Christmas holiday drawer and started looking inside. And rummaging inside, he was looking for his warm, beautiful, red, toasty warm, woolly pajamas. And Santa loved those pajamas. They looked something like this. These red pajamas were old, they were faded, and they were saggy. They even were torn, and Mrs. Santa Claus had patched them up in places. But Santa loved these woolly pajamas. He usually wore them under his grand red suit, and they helped him stay warm and toasty as he rode in his sleigh over wintry skies. Now, Santa couldn't find his red woolly pajamas, so he opened all the other drawers in his closet, and he looked, and he rummaged, and he looked, and he rummaged, and he looked, and he rummaged. No red pajamas. So then he looked in the dirty laundry clothes basket. They weren't there. He looked under the bed. He just found an old smelly white sock. No red woolly pajamas. And then Santa started thinking, where could they be? Where could they be? And he couldn't for the life of him remember where he had kept his red woolly pajamas. So he gave another big sigh. I suppose, he said, I suppose I'll have to wear something else tonight. So he pulled out the pink pants and pink shirt pajamas that Mrs. Claus had gifted him for Valentine's Day. And he put them on and looked at himself in the mirror. Too many red hearts, and pinkness, he said. This doesn't feel Christmassy at all. This wouldn't do. I must wear something else. So Santa tried on and buttoned up his long johns, the green long johns that he wore every St. Patrick's Day, and then looked at himself in the mirror. These green shamrock clover leaves are not Christmassy at all, Santa sighed. I suppose I'll have to try on something else. So then Santa tried his white Easter undersuit, and that had bunnies and colored eggs on it. And Santa was like, what was I thinking? How can I wear this? This isn't Christmassy at all. I suppose I'll have to try something else. So then he pulled out his beautiful, bright, red and yellow stripy pajama suit that he had gotten as a gift for Diwali. And when he put it on, it was a bit snug because he had eaten so many sweets for Diwali. Santa had grown a bit in this direction. But he put it on, and then he was like, he looked in the mirror and said, bright and colorful and all that, but, not Christmassy enough. It was perfect for Diwali, but not Christmassy enough. I suppose I will have to try something else. So then Santa tried his regular, grey, boring pajamas. No, just not right. What should I do? Oh, I don't have anything else to try. Maybe I'll just have to be brave and not wear anything under. No pajamas under my grand red suit. But that's going to make me shiver and quiver. Oh, just the thought. Oh, but I'm going to have to be brave because, times are ticking. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. And I have to fly away in my sleigh with all my reindeer and deliver gifts. I cannot waste Christmas Eve. I have to deliver the gifts. Santa was very unhappy. So he walked to his wardrobe door where his red suit was all ready to go. And he opened his wardrobe door and right there on a hanger in front of him with a beautiful green bow on it were brand new woolly red pajamas. Santa was ecstatic. These were exactly like his old ones, except they weren't old, they were not faded, they were not saggy, and they were oh so warm and toasty. Santa was very, very happy. And right next to the red woolly pajamas, hanging from the side, was a gift tag that said, Santa, dear Santa, Merry Christmas. Here's your Christmas gift. We kind of noticed that your warm, woolly Christmas pajamas from last year were old and faded and saggy. So we thought of getting you this Christmas gift. Have a warm, merry ride. With love, Rudolph and your reindeer team. Santa was so ecstatic. He was so happy. He quickly put on his new red woolly pajamas, and then he brought out his grand red suit, and he put on the coat, and he put on the pants, and then he took his nicely polished belt buckle and put on his belt, and then he pulled up his nice polished black boots, and he slapped on his hat, and he picked up his big sack of gifts, and he raced out of the door, all ready for Christmas Eve. Ho, 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 ho! And he boarded his sleigh, and as the sleigh rose, he tooted the horn. And he said, thank you, Rudolph and Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. Thank you all. I love my red woolly pajamas. I feel so warm. Merry Christmas to all of you. Ho, 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 ho. And that was the story of how Santa got new pajamas for Christmas. I hope you enjoyed it. Merry Christmas, everyone, and a very happy New Year to all of you.
Merry Christmas to everyone. Ended Kid presents to you an event, special event on the occasion of Christmas and New Year. Jingle Bell Storytell, a story carnival by 7 amazing storytellers who will narrate to you 7 different types of stories. And myself, Mrs. Soni Lamba Divedi. And here is my story. Hope you all enjoy it. Once upon a time, in a village, lived a girl named Rosie. She was very sweet, understanding, and very caring. Now, where she lived in the mountains, that village was located in the mountains. So it would be very snowy and very cold, especially during winter. It used to be very, very cold. Her father was a candle maker. He used to make candles, lovely candles, big, small, scented candles. And for that, he used to get wax from the nearby woods. He was very excited. Christmas was approaching, so he made lots of candles because he wanted to sell them at the town market. Because these candles have a lot of demand during Christmas. But suddenly, and unfortunately, he fell sick. And he was very sad. Rosie noticed this and she asked her father, "Daddy, why are you so sad?" "Child, I thought I would go and sell these candles. Today's Christmas and these candles have lot of demand. And being Christmas, I thought I would really give you some nice gift. But my health did not permit me." Rosie thought for a moment and she picked up her purse, her leather bag, put all the box of candles in that, and she was set to go to the town. She told her daddy, "Don't worry, Daddy, I shall go and sell off all these candles." It was a snowy Christmas evening. It was too cold. But that did not stop Rosie. She kept on walking. And finally, she reached the town. At town, there was a small church. On a bench outside the church, a man was sitting, an old man. He was wearing old tattered and torn clothes. And besides him, small tiny puppy, he was sitting. Rosie was wondering, what is he doing here and that on such cold evening? She asked him, "Grandpa, what are you doing here, that on a Christmas evening? So cold weather. Where is your home? Where are your family members? What are you doing here?" The man was shivering. With so much cold it was and just snowing, was shivering. "Child, I don't have any home, and neither I have anybody in my family. This small puppy only is my family." Rosie felt very bad. She just thought, I shall remove a box of candles and give it to the old man. She removed it, and with the matchbox, she gave it to the grandpa. She told, "Grandpa, light these candles one after the other. Maybe it's warm, will give you some comfort in this cold evening." But the old man was hesitant to take those candles. He said, "Child, you may need these candles. How can I take this?" Rosie explained, No worries. I shall manage. I'll explain everything to my father, and he will surely understand. And he always motivates me, encourages me to help a person in need. She handed him the box and went ahead. As it was Christmas, she was very happy. All her candles got sold. She was returning back home. On her way back home, she saw that same old man. He was still shivering. It was so cold. He was lighting those candles. But still it did not give him any warmth. And she asked him, "Grandpa, why don't you come to my home and celebrate this evening with my family?" He was hesitant, but after a lot of persuasion, they all three, means the puppy, the old man and Rosie, went home. After she reached home, Rosie explained everything to her father, and her father was happy and welcomed the old man and the puppy. After settling for some time, Rosie prepared a nice hot bowl of soup. While serving the soup, she told the old man, "Grandpa, it is only me and my father in my family. I am very sorry. This is the only thing I could do for you. I could only serve for you this hot soup." The old man at that moment said, "Child, you have done so much for me. You gave me shelter in this cold evening, brought me home, me and my puppy. Thank you so much. May God bless you in abundance." And later on, they all went off to sleep. At midnight, there was suddenly a noise which woke up Rosie. When she woke up, she saw all around, but the old man was nowhere to be seen, and neither that puppy. Suddenly she saw some figure, nice white beard and red hat. She saw outside, and what was it? It was the Santa Claus riding on his reindeer sledge. And she saw outside, but when she was just going to go and call him, he got disappeared. This made Rosie very sad. But when she turned around, a magic happened. All was glittering, candles, nice decoration, lots of gifts. And there was a letter for Rosie. So I shall read this letter for you all. This was the letter for Rosie. To Rosie. So I shall read this letter for you, which read, "Dear Rosie, I'm really happy and thankful that you have given me so much of love and warmness, and to me, not only to me, but my puppy too. May God bless you always and your father with good health, prosperity, in abundance. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year." At that moment, her father told, "Child, did you understand anything? This was none other than our secret Santa who visited our home. You know why? Because Santa is always in search of such kind of warmness, kindness and love, which he received it from you." And at that moment, she saw that figure again, the Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year! Dashing through the snow in a one-house open sleigh, over fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits high. What fun is to ride and sing a sliding song tonight. Hey, hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun is to ride in a one-house open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun is to ride in a one-house open sleigh. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bring us some figgy pudding. Oh, bring us some figgy pudding. Oh, bring us some figgy pudding and bring it right here. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Vidya Nesrika. Welcome to Storytell Jingle Bell. 7 stories by 7 storytellers about Christmas. I'm going to share with you a little story that I wrote myself. One day, Mary was going down the road. She had something very heavy in her hands and wanted to reach home as soon as possible because it was a very, very special package, you see. But on the way, she was stopped by Arshia Auntie. And Arshia Auntie said, "Hello there, Mary. What are you doing so early in the morning?" And Mary said that it's Christmas and she had a very special package in her hand. It was a special yummy cake baked by her grandmother, a plum cake, which was a favorite. And this was the favorite part about Christmas for her. And Arshia Auntie said, "Oh, that sounds amazing. Did your grandma bake that cake for you? Where are you taking the cake then?" She said that her mother was having a party that evening and she was carrying the cake back to her house. Then she told Arshia Auntie that I have to go. I'm so sorry, but this package is very heavy and I told my mother that I'm going to reach home soon. And she said bye to Arshia Auntie. Then she took a couple of steps more and was stopped by Singh Uncle, who was just returning from the Gurudwara. And Singh Uncle asked her, "Hey there, Mary, what are you doing here so early in the morning, walking with such a heavy package in your hand?" And Mary said that, "Yes, as today is Christmas, I'm carrying a very, very special package, just like you said. It's a cake baked by my grandmother and I can't wait to eat it because she bakes it only during Christmas, and eating this cake is the best part about Christmas for me." And Singh Uncle joked a little bit and said that, "Oh, why don't you give me a little piece of your cake then?" And she said, No, this is only for the evening party." She said, "Don't you make Christmas cake?" she asked Singh Uncle. And Singh Uncle said that though he loves cake, he does not make a cake specially for Christmas. Then she told Uncle that she has to go, and she hurried on away because the package was getting heavier and heavier in her hands. And soon she reached another house. And her neighbor, Jaya Auntie, was making a rangoli in front of her house, a beautiful large rangoli. And Mary stopped to look at it and said, "Can I help?" And Jaya Auntie said, "Of course you can, but don't you have this big package in your hands?" She said, "Oh, that's right, I have to make it home because I told my mother that I'm old enough to carry this package." And Jaya Auntie asked, "What is in this package?" She said, "It's a special cake that my grandma has baked especially for Christmas." And Jaya Auntie said that, "Wow, that looks amazing. Why don't you hurry on home?" And by this time, her hands were so heavy that she wasn't sure if she could make it. And she took 2 steps ahead and tripped over the little rangoli katori, and the cake went splat on the ground. It was completely ruined. Little Mary was very upset, and Jaya Auntie was devastated because she thought that Mary's favorite cake was now on the ground. Mary said, "I'd better go back to my grandma's house immediately. Maybe she can bake another cake for me." Jaya Auntie said, "That's a very good idea." She rushed back to her grandmother's house and said, "Grandma, I've done the most horrendous thing. I've dropped your cake on the ground and it's spoiled. And this is the favorite part about Christmas for me. This is what Christmas is all about, a Christmas cake, and now it's ruined." Grandma told her not to worry. And while she wiped away her tears and sobs, Grandma asked her, "What do we do now?" And little Mary said that, "Can you bake another cake for me, please?" And Grandma said that she couldn't because she didn't have any of the ingredients and there wasn't enough time yet. And now Mary was afraid of another thing. How would she tell her mother that the cake was ruined? Now there would be no cake at the party. And Grandma said that, "I don't think you should worry about that because your mama will not be upset with you, I'm sure." Mary was not so sure. Then her grandma said, "Why don't you come along with me and we can sing some carols and reach your mother's house and we can both tell your mother together." And Mary thought that was a very grand idea, and they soon began to sing some carols. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. And in this manner, Mary and her grandmother reached her mother's house. Mary's heart was pounding in her heart. She wasn't sure what her mother would say. And then when she reached home, she told her mama, "Mama, I have some very bad news. The cake is ruined. I dropped it in front of Jaya Auntie's house while I was talking to her. She expected her mother to scold her, but her mother gave her a tight big hug and said, "Do not worry, my dearest. There's enough food at the party. It's okay if we don't have a cake to eat this year." Mary was very surprised to see her mother's reaction, but she was still feeling a little bad about what she did. And that evening, when all the guests began to arrive, all her family and friends, she was sitting very glum in a corner. And then the bell rang, and her mother said, "Why don't you come to the door and see there's some special guests out here for you?" And Mary was wondering who it might be, because already all her friends and family were already there. And she went to the door, and whom did she see? It was Arsha Auntie, Singh Uncle and Jaya Auntie. And they had something very special in their hands. It was a cake, and all of them were dressed as Santa Claus. And Mary gave the biggest smile to all of them. And they said, "We know this isn't your grandmother's special cake, but we have baked a special cake just for you, because we felt really bad that your cake was dropped and it was ruined." And Mary gave them all a tight hug and welcomed them into her house, and all of them began to sing carols and enjoy the party. And while Mary was eating the delicious cake, she looked around and realized that Christmas wasn't just about the cake. Of course, cakes make any party better, but Christmas is all about the joy of giving, of sharing, forgiving, and spending time with your family and friends. And she looked around and said, "This is the best Christmas ever." Merry Christmas to all of you. May the spirit of Christmas be always with you this Christmas and all year long. Thank you. I do hope you enjoyed that story.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Untitled Kids brings to you a very special and joyful family event on the occasion of Christmas and New Year. Jingle Bell Storytell, a story carnival where 7 storytellers narrate 7 different stories. I am Amrit Nagpal, and today I shall be narrating a wonderful story. And the name of my story is The Christmas Singers. Long, long ago, in the South Pole, there lived lots of birds and animals. But there was a very special bird or animal, you tell me. This animal was dressed always in white and black. It had beautiful wings but couldn't fly. It loved to swim. Can you tell me who is the story about? You're right. I am going to be narrating a story about the penguins. So, in the South Pole lived 3 penguins. These 3 penguins were best friends. Jack, Robert, and Ben. They were wonderful singers, and they loved to sing Christmas carols every Christmas season. But this year, a day before the Christmas Eve, Robert fell ill and took his bed. Achoo! Achoo! Robert was very ill. His friends, Jack and Ben, were very worried. What will we do if Robert doesn't get well soon? How will we sing in the Christmas carnival for all our friends? They were very worried. Robert I don't think I am too well. Why don't the both of you sing for our friends and continue the Christmas tradition? Jack and Ben were very worried for his friend. They thought they would take him to the doctor. So, Jack and Ben took Robert to Dr. Coco. Dr. Coco was a very well-known doctor in the South Pole. They reached Dr. Coco's clinic. Knock, knock. They knocked at the door. Dr. Coco's assistant welcomed them. And soon it was their turn to meet Dr. Coco. So they met Dr. Coco, and Dr. Coco saw Robert and said, "You don't look very well. Come and sit next to me. Let me have a look." Dr. Coco asked Robert, "Open your mouth." "Ah." And he took his stethoscope and asked him to take a deep breath and release. And again take a deep breath and release. While Dr. Coco was examining Robert, his friends were very worried. They told Dr. Coco, "We hope he will be fine soon. We have to sing in the Christmas carnival." Dr. Coco said, "Let me have a look. His chest is full of congestion. I don't think he will be allowed to sing this year." Jack and Ben were very sad because they always would sing with Robert. But Robert was ill this year with all the sneezing and the coughing. They requested and pleaded Dr. Coco, "Please do something. Help our friend cure and let him be fine to be able to sing." Dr. Coco said, "There is only one cure. You have to get the golden seaweed from the Indian Ocean, and from the golden seaweed I shall be making a herbal tea which will cure your friend." The trio were worried again because the Indian Ocean was far, far away from the South Pole, and they didn't know what to do. So they went back home, but they were very sad and they were crying and weeping. "Who shall help us? What shall we do this Christmas? Our friend is not well. We are very upset. We don't want to sing without our friend." They went to the ice fish. The ice fish was a very beautiful fish in the South Pole. And they asked him, his name was Jerry, Jerry, can you help us find the golden seaweed in a very short time?" Jerry said, "Yes, why not? The Christmas carnival is coming up and I always love the way y'all sing." So Jerry quickly called all his friends from the Indian Ocean. Jerry called the butterfly fish, the puffer fish, the starfish. And he told them very quickly about the problem. He said, "Look, we have to go and find the golden seaweed. My friend Robert has to sing. Dr. Coco is going to make a concoction of a herbal tea. And he needs to be fine and he needs to sing all the Christmas carols. So quickly spread out in the Indian Ocean and find the golden seaweed." All of them rushed into different directions all the way to the Indian Ocean. They looked here, they looked there, they looked everywhere to find the golden seaweed. But the butterfly fish found it first. She quickly swam to the puffer fish, handed over the golden seaweed. The puffer fish relayed all the way back to the starfish, handed over the golden seaweed, and the starfish quickly swam and handed over the golden seaweed to the ice fish. The ice fish then whistled and called Robert, Jack and Ben. They all came rushing towards Jerry the ice fish. Jerry the ice fish handed over the golden seaweed, but that wasn't over. They still had to go to Dr. Coco, who was going to make the herbal tea for them. Then they went to Dr. Coco. Dr. Coco took the herbal seaweed and mashed it very well and boiled it with some water, blub, 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 and served the very hot golden seaweed herbal tea in Robert's favorite snowman mug and gave it to Robert. Robert quickly gulped it down, and while he was gulping it down, he could feel a relief near his throat, and there was a sense of calmness and soothness. And within a few minutes, he got his singing voice back. He was able to sing. He started testing. La la, la la, la la, la la, la la, la la, la la. And the trio were happy again. Robert, Jack and Ben, they all quickly went to the Snow White Hill where the Christmas carnival was held every year. And they, before singing, thanked Dr. Coco, Ice Fish Jerry and all Jerry's friends for keeping the Christmas spirits high, helping their friends, loving and caring for them, and working together as a team, cooperating with them and sharing the golden seaweed. And thus Christmas was saved because there was a Christmas miracle. And with this miracle, Robert was fine and he was back in good health. So children, with all the love, dedication, cooperation and care from family members and friends, everyone can have a Merry Christmas and a joyful Christmas too. And along with that, the trio started their Christmas carnival. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Hello friends, Merry Christmas to everyone. Enlit Kids brings to you a special and joyful family event on the occasion of Christmas and the New Year, Year of Hope. Jingle Bell Storytell, a story carnival where 7 storytellers are going to narrate 7 different stories. I am Yogini Uttarwar and here is my story titled The True Story of Santa Claus. So friends, let's begin. Santa Claus was not always a jolly old fellow. He did not always have long white whiskers and he did not always wear big red suit. Long before he lived in the North Pole and long before his yearly Christmas visits brought joy to the children all over the world, Santa Claus was a child himself. He was once just an ordinary baby boy named Nicholas. The baby boy was just like any other boy, but his parents hoped for great things from their only son. They named him Nicholas, which means hero of the people. Even at a young age, Nicholas was a kind and generous boy. He often helped the people in his village. He shared meals with those who had nothing to eat, and he was the first one to lend a helping hand. He brought joy to the young and old alike. There was no other better friend to have than young Nicholas. At a very young age, Nicholas joined the church. His duty was to help the people. He gave special attention to the children, and the children were very fond of Nicholas for his joyful and playful manner. Nicholas was well known throughout the land for his kind and wise young man. He soon became bishop of the church. Because Nicholas was still so young, people called him Boy Bishop. Nicholas wore long red robe and red cap, and he travelled on horseback. At every village, happy children like you would spot his bright robe and gather on the street to greet him. In one village, Bishop Nicholas heard the sorrowful tale of a poor old man and his 3 young daughters. It seemed that he could no longer feed them, and he feared that he would have to send them away from him. But Nicholas knew that he could help this family. That night, while the whole village slept, Nicholas crept up to the hut where the 3 sisters lived. He climbed up the rooftop to find the chimney. Nicholas dropped 3 small bags full of gold coins, one by one, down the chimney stack. Earlier that morning, the 3 sisters had hung their newly washed stockings by the fireplace to dry. The bags that Nicholas dropped fell into the stockings below. Next morning, the girls were overjoyed to find gold coins in their stockings. "Father, father," they called, running to wake him up. "We have received a magical gift." As the story of the old man and his daughters spread from village to village, people began to hang their stockings by the fireplace, hoped to find a secret gift when they awoke the next morning. Though this was Bishop Nicholas' most famous gift, it was not the first good deed, and certainly it was not his last. Bishop Nicholas enjoyed surprising the people. He began to deliver magical gifts of joy and hope at the night when all his friends were asleep. For all his good deeds, Bishop Nicholas was named a saint. He is honored as a saint who looked after all the children. Like other saints, Saint Nicholas was given a name day. It is also known as feast. One day each year, everyone celebrates saint's good deed. Saint Nicholas' name day is December 6th. People all over the world began to celebrate Saint Nicholas' Day. They hung their stockings by the fire the night before and awoke the next morning to find them filled with candies, fruit, nuts, or toys. Saint Nicholas had left a magical gift at each home. Many years ago, people began to celebrate Saint Nicholas' Day on Christmas, another holiday in December. Saint Nicholas has many names around the world. In some places, he is called Saint Nicholas. In some places, he is called Santa Claus. Many people know him today as, Santa Claus. A true hero of the people, Saint Nicholas still delivers his magical gifts each year at the Christmas time. The gifts Santa Claus delivers, the gifts of joy, the gifts of hope, bring joy of giving to all children in the world. So my dear friends, hope you like the story. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to all. Wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. See you soon with love.
Hello, my little friends. How are you all? This is Jyoti Matange, and I have come to narrate a story on behalf of Inlet Kids. So, what's the story about? Of course, you must have guessed, looking at my decoration behind me, a Christmas tree with a snowman, with candles, and this little Santa here. Yes, it is a Christmas story. This Christmas story is a little different. It is about a little lamb called Snowy. White, fluffy lamb, and how he ran away. Don't think just Mary's lamb ran away. This little lamb ran away from a beautiful farm in New Zealand called Mr. Frederick's farm. A very good farmer who owned a beautiful farm. I'll show you the pictures. This is Mr. Frederick's farm. One more picture of Mr. Frederick's farm, very well managed, professionally managed. Look at this. He had a lot of animals on the farm, but most of all he had sheep, because they rear sheep in New Zealand for the wool and many other things. The best of cardigans, sweaters, shawls come from New Zealand, one of the best quality of wool makers. And see, this is how the sheep are sheared. So, bringing in front of you the hero of my story, little Snowy. Hello everyone. So Snowy was very tired of being in that farm, in the sheep pen, and he always told his mother, "Mommy dear, I'm very bored of being on this farm. I want to go out in this open world and be free." His mother said, "Yes dear, you will be free, you will go out, but you're still very small. You need to grow up, and Mr. Frederick is such a kind person, I'm sure he'll send you out himself." But this little one was very naughty, and one day when nobody was seeing him, and when they are let out on the meadows to graze, he quietly, stealthily, he crept between the feet of older sheep, right and left and right and up and down, and he was out. And he ran and he ran and he ran as fast as his little legs could take him, and then slumped down. "Oh, I am so tired." And he got up, he looked back. He couldn't see the farm, he couldn't see his mama, he couldn't see anybody. And he was so happy. He was happy, yippee! I am free into this big wide world. And he sang a song, "Freedom, freedom, I love to be free. Freedom, freedom, I love to be free. No one to tell me, do this, don't do that. Don't go there and don't come here. I am free." He called out to the butterflies, "Hello, butterflies! Hello, my little birds!" He went and kissed the flowers, and the whole day he scampered into the woods. He had a gala time, but as soon as the sun began to set, the weather became cold, and he didn't realize he had traveled way up north, and suddenly realized he was cold, he was hungry, and he was tired and wanted to go back. He cried, "I am so tired. I want to go back to my mama. Will somebody take me to my mama?" He was weeping under a tree. Just then, who do you think came up from the sky? He could hear jingle, 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 jingle. And we had Mr. Santa, who came in his sleigh, and he came down on the ground. He wanted a nap because he was very tired. As he lay down on his sleigh, pulled his cap, and he said, "Oh, This is so tiring and I want to sleep. Take a short nap. Enough of distributing gifts. And just then he heard, oh my, I want to go home. I'm lost. Santa realized, oh dear, who might be crying on the eve of Christmas? Poor soul. He picked up and he asked him, where do you stay, little one? I don't know. I'm a baby. How am I supposed to know? But please take me back to my mommy. I want to go back to my farm. Please, please, please. So saying, he crouched down and started weeping. Santa Claus said, okay, he counted his gifts. Let me finish my work. Come dear. And he kept him inside his coat to keep him warm. He checked his list. Tick, 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 tick. Yes, everybody's got the gift except for Nicky. Oh dear, I can't go back to North Pole and get the gift for Nicky. So Nicky needs a gift and this little one needs a home. He equated the two, packed him up, put a lovely ribbon round his neck and put a tag saying, Dear Nicky, Merry Christmas, and kept it outside her door. Next day morning, Nicky found this little one and she picked him up and hugged him. Oh my, this is my little gift Santa has given me. Just when they were having their Christmas breakfast, they could hear the news, and on the news, who was there? Mr. Frederick. I'm Mr. Frederick the farmer. I have some important news. I have lost a sheep, little Snowy. It's a baby sheep. His ears, you'll see a marking on his ear which will tell you that sheep is our sheep. We have docked on his ear. So please do return it. On the screen here below you will see our number. Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a good time. Nicky's father said, yes, come on, get up. We must get into the car and drop this poor baby back to the farm. Nicky was alarmed. She said, no, this is my gift. I want it. But father explained on the way, how can you separate a little baby from his mother? Nicky understood. As they reached the farm, Mr. Frederick was standing at the gate and he thought these are guests. He welcomed them and said, come. But they said, we are not guests. We have come here to return your little baby. As soon as Snowy saw Mr. Frederick, he jumped out of the car and he ran to see the other animals, his friends. Mr. Frederick said, Nicky, you have done a very good deed on Christmas this year. So you will get a big gift hamper from me and a promise from me. You with your friends are always welcome to my farm. Whenever you have vacations, do come here. Not only enjoy the little lamb Snowy, but also other baby animals. We have a nursery here. Play with them, enjoy, spend your vacations here. And that is my promise and my gift to you. So children, when Christmas comes, it's a time for giving, sharing. Always remember that gives you so much of pleasure here when you share things. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a great time and have a great 2021. And let's pray to God that it is without Corona. Say bye-bye to Corona. We don't want you here. Good luck to everybody. Love you, little ones.
Merry Christmas! Endlet Kids brings to you a very special and joyful family event on the occasion of Christmas and New Year. Jingle Bell Storytell. A story carnival where 7 storytellers will be narrating 7 different stories. My name is Gauri and I am here to narrate the story of Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. Let's move on to the story. Santa Claus lives in the North Pole. You all know that, right? He has many elves who make the toys and neatly pack all the gifts to be delivered to children all around the world. And there are also many reindeers in the North Pole. and the reindeers had a very important job to do. Santa chose a team of 8 reindeers to pull the sleigh because Santa had to deliver the toys and gifts to children all around the world during Christmas Eve. The reindeers were very strong and Santa fed them with magical oats and corn. Now there was another little reindeer called Rudolph. He was very different from the others because he had a bright red shiny nose. All the other reindeers thought that he looked very funny and they always mocked him. Rudolph would go and ask the reindeers, "Can I please join you all? I want to play with you." But the reindeers would laugh at him and say, "Hey, you bright red nosy, you have such a bright red nose. We all plan to play a game of hide and seek. How are you going to hide with your sparkling nose? Go away." And they would shoo him away. Rudolph was very upset. They never let him join in any of the fun or games. He was always very lonely and sad. And soon the Christmas was coming and Santa was making sure that the sleigh was all working properly and he was making sure that the gifts were packed. Now Rudolph went to Santa Claus and asked, "Santa, can I join the sleigh team too? I would like to pull the sleigh too." But Santa thought that Rudolph was still too young for the job because pulling the sleigh meant being very strong. So Santa Claus asked Rudolph to go home and come back later when he grew bigger. Rudolph was very sad, and this conversation was overheard by the other reindeers. They came to Rudolph and said, "Hey, you bright red nosy, you want to join the sleigh team? Come on. All the children would be scared of your nose. They would cry and they would faint. Don't ever have such dreams." Hearing this, Rudolph just broke into tears. He was very sad and he went back home. And soon it was Christmas Eve. Santa had to set off with the sleigh to deliver all the gifts. It was just 1 hour before he had to go. But suddenly, with no notice, there was a huge winter storm. The wind blew strongly and there was a dense fog. Santa was very worried that if this kind of weather persists, then he would not be able to take his sleigh out because the visibility was practically nil and all the children would be disappointed because they would not be getting their gifts from Santa. So Santa thought for a while and a wonderful idea struck him. He got reminded of Rudolph and his bright red nose that shone like a torch. So Santa went to Rudolph, he woke him up and asked, "Rudolph, can you come and lead the sleigh team?" Of course, Rudolph was very delighted. He agreed to lead the sleigh team. Though Rudolph was small, he was very brave and he tried to run as fast as possible. The light from his nose shone all the way and all the other reindeers just followed Rudolph's path. And finally, Santa was able to deliver all the gifts to the children around the world with no difficulty. And soon the sun rose and the fog cleared. Santa and the reindeers were welcomed back home. Everyone cheered for Rudolph because he was the hero of the day. And Santa presented Rudolph with the Medal of Honor for bravery. Though Rudolph was small, he had proven that he was very brave and he could do what Santa had asked him to do. So from that day on, everybody liked Rudolph. Nobody mocked him. They understood that it was okay to be different because it was his nose that had made miracles happen on Christmas Eve. Rudolph was very proud of his nose. So that's the story. I hope you all enjoyed it. Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year.